So Namaste Hero. So it's hypnotherapy and it's past life regression.
But this is where most of the misconceptions come from, because people think that when they are hypnotized, they will be sleeping.
It's wrong. It's just going inward. And I think basically now the practices that we do, it's like we need to seek inwards to make change in life. So one of the ways hypnotherapy.
Because I don't know where we're going to go. The client doesn't know where we're going to go. But the subconscious mind knows exactly where we need to go. And people might think that the conscious mind is the broadest mind, and then it contains the subconscious and then it contains the superconscious. But it's actually the opposite.
Say I am a person who really has problems with the family or maybe with friends. I need to solve it.
Mental, emotional, or even physical issues. Either suggestion therapy or transformational hypnotherapy, or we do a regression back to the origin of what the issue is.
Differentiate that this particular problem is with one life only or 3 lives together or 4 lives.
I don't guide the client to any one specific past life. Parallel lives, it's all happening now, right?
That if you want to hypnotize someone, you will stare at the watch
The
and
pendulum, right? Especially later on in life.
to be watching this.
Yes.
3 past life and 1 solution, mastermind Magdalena. So Namaste Hero.
Namaste Hero.
Yeah, I call you as a hero because you seem to me as a hero. We finally have Magdalena, who's a master hypnotherapist. And you can't wait to see how she hypnotizes us all. But of course, for something amazing.
Yes.
So super happy to have you here today. I'm really, really excited to look forward into this conversation.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much, Maddie. It's always nice to talk to young, inspiring people such as you.
Yeah, you look to be more young than me. Look at her. What do you eat, by the way?
Oh, all good stuff.
All
All
good
nice,
stuff.
all nice organic food. But I would never say to people that they have to eat what I eat.
Yeah.
I would always say to them to listen to their bodies, and their body will tell them exactly what's good for them and what is not.
Wow, that's amazing. That's such a
Yes.
nice, clear, straightforward advice.
Yes,
I love it. So I want to deep dive into the things that you do. You do something very interesting that is also like very fascinating in today's day and age. So it's hypnotherapy and it's past life regression.
Correct.
These are 2 different terms. So let's deep dive into hypnotherapy. To be defining it as, is it called sleep in Greek?
Yes, sleep meaning hypnos.
Okay.
It's a Greek word for sleep. But this is where most of the misconceptions come from, because people think that when they are hypnotized, they will be sleeping. But opposite is actually true. You are not sleeping. In fact, your awareness is enhanced. The only difference is that your awareness is not directed outwards, it's directed inwards.
Wow. So this is very interesting. So what people confuse is hypnotherapy is basically going into sleep. But no, it's wrong.
It's exactly.
It's just going inward. And I think basically now the practices that we do, it's like we need to seek inwards to make change in life. So one of the ways hypnotherapy, if I'm right.
Exactly, correctly. So during hypnotherapy, I guide people on inner journeys to connect with their subconscious mind, with their higher self, and with their immortal identity as a soul. And from that place, it's much easier to change things, to uncover things, to heal, than it would be if people were just trying to consciously make these changes.
Wow, this is interesting. So it's same like family constellation where you go to the root cause and take out the root cause and throw. Is it same or different?
It is similar, yeah, in many ways it is similar. It is done under hypnosis, so it's just for that one specific individual, where we go to where the subconscious mind takes us, because I don't know where we're going to go. The client doesn't know where we're going to go, but the subconscious mind knows exactly where we need to go. And with the help of the subconscious mind and the higher self, we arrive at exactly the place that is important for the client to understand, to uncover, and to heal. So it is a very individualized, tailor-made process for every person.
Wow, this is interesting. So I'd love for you, because now all of the audience is like pretty new to all of this. So I'd love for you to define subconscious and what is going into subconscious life?
Right. Okay. So some people might already know that there are 3 levels of mind. So we have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious mind, and we also have what we call a superconscious mind. Okay, or I call it superconscious mind. Some people might call it higher mind as well. And people might think that the conscious mind is the broadest mind, you know, and then it contains the subconscious and then it contains the superconscious. But it's actually the opposite. Conscious mind is the most limited part of the mind. So conscious mind is what we are operating in right now here, right? So we're in a beta brainwave state. This is our logical thinking mind. We are thinking, we're analyzing, I'm thinking, what am I going to say? I'm using my conscious mind, right? Okay. And this is where our short-term memory is stored and where our willpower is stored as well. So if we're trying to do something with will, we're using our conscious mind to do that.
Okay.
Then we have the subconscious mind, which is much broader in terms of what it can do. Okay. So subconscious mind is our feeling mind. Okay, so we had the conscious mind was the thinking mind. This is our feeling mind. This is where our beliefs are stored, our habits, and our imagination as well, right? So we're going much deeper into the level where our beliefs are stored. Okay, so this is the mind that we work with in hypnotherapy. And to access the subconscious mind, you have to be in an alpha, like a deeper alpha state of mind, or even a theta. For some deeper hypnotherapeutic techniques like past life regressions, they need you to be in the theta level, which is a much more relaxed and nicer, very comfortable level of mind. And then we have the superconscious mind, which is the broadest, as broad as it gets. And this is your connection to your higher mind, to the universal consciousness. This is where the guidance comes from your soul identity, from your soul essence. And we work with the superconscious mind in spiritual hypnotherapy.
Spiritual hypnotherapy.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Also something we can talk about.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of my big passions is spiritual hypnotherapy.
I love this. Okay, so let's forget conscious mind because we don't care about it anymore.
Yes.
Let's dive into subconscious mind. So hypnotherapy used to track into subconscious mind.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the process. How does it start? Like, let's say I am a person who really has problems with the family or maybe with friends, and I need to solve it.
Yes.
So what's the best way in terms of hypnotherapy? What would you suggest me, or like give me a brief about hypnotherapy as in it can help me in my journey?
Yes, of course. So hypnotherapy can help with a wide range of issues. Okay, so it could be mental, emotional, or even physical issues. So when the client comes for a hypnotherapy session, first we start with what I call hypnoanalysis. Okay. So we try to understand what is the problem that the client has, obviously. So if, for example, somebody has problems in relationships, we try to understand what are the current patterns.
Okay.
If somebody, for example, is repeating a pattern in a relationship, or I just had a client 2 days ago where she's repeating her patterns in relationships, in marriages. She's in her 3rd marriage and very unhappy, and she says, I married exactly the same guy that I divorced twice, you know? Of course, it's not the same person,
Why?
but personality-wise, it was exactly the same pattern that she was repeating. And she was unable to understand on a conscious level why she would be making these choices. Okay, it's just one example in terms of relationships, but there is a wide range of mental issues, starting with stress, anxiety, depression, overwhelm. It can help with addictions. It can help with a wide range of physical issues as well, such as, for example, managing chronic conditions, pain management, even therapeutic support for patients with terminal illness, and so on and so forth. So there's a very wide range of areas where traditional classical hypnotherapy can help. So if you come for a session, so we first try to understand what the problem is, and then I tailor-make the session based on what exactly the client's requirements are. So we might need to do either a suggestion therapy or transformational hypnotherapy, or we do a regression back to the origin of what the issue is. So it really just depends on the specific issue that the client has.
There are 3 types of it. Or it's just the terms that you...
For the classical, yes. So for the classical hypnotherapy, it can either be suggestion therapy. Suggestion therapy basically means that the client gets into a very relaxed state of mind, in the alpha level of mind, and then the hypnotherapist is able to plant suggestions in their subconscious mind to help with certain easier issues, I would say, such as weight loss or smoking cessations and habit changes and things like that. That's called suggestion therapy. Then we have what's called transformational hypnotherapy, where we also go back to the past and we try to uncover the patterns. But I would say the most effective way is to do an age regression. So that's the regression, yes, where we not only implant suggestions and maybe discover some patterns, but we actually go back to the exact original event that has caused this type of behavior or this type of issue or the problem. And we sometimes are unable to pinpoint this exact time in our life when this thing originated, because it's just simply not accessible on the conscious level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how long does that take for the third one that you talked about? We go in depth and we change everything. Is it like some hours, some few sessions that you take with a person, or it varies from person to person? How is it like?
Well, it really depends. I would say, there can be a very big transformation already after the first session. I have many clients that have one session. However, I would not say this is a miracle cure and after one session everything is resolved. I would say 1 to 3 sessions are what is appropriate. Usually after the 3 sessions, we have, as you say, plucked out the roots of most of the issues, because sometimes it's not just one, it could be 2 or 3 that we need to work on. And then the client is already in control of their life. Wow. So they feel that they have the capacity to deal with this issue in a much easier way, easily and naturally and effortlessly, rather than just using the willpower of the conscious mind.
Which is very tough.
Exactly. It's very, very tough. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So what do you think, in a wide range of your clients, which is the weirdest or the craziest case you have had?
Oh, okay. The weirdest or the craziest case I had was, they are all weird and crazy in a certain way, but that would be related to a past life regression. Should we bring that in now? Would that be appropriate?
Yeah, why not? Let's do that.
So the most interesting case I had recently that I remember was with a lady that came with an eating disorder. Okay, she was an older lady and she's been struggling with bulimia her whole life. And she was unable to really find the reason for this type of behavior with her very destructive relationship with food. And she has tried conventional therapy and she has pretty much resigned to the fact that she's just going to have to live with it her whole life. So she came as a last resort. She heard about hypnotherapy and I met her through another person and we thought, okay, let's see if we can help you. So we did a traditional age regression to the current life. And I thought I'm doing something wrong this time because we couldn't find the time where this issue would have originated in the current life. Everything seemed absolutely fine. We went to the childhood, we reviewed whole sorts of memories and events, but nothing was significant enough that would be the trigger for this condition. And this is when, things become really interesting, because then I thought, maybe we need to go beyond. And sometimes this happens even spontaneously when I'm trying to regress a client and he goes beyond, this life. And we agreed to do a past life regression. During the past life regression, the process, we can talk about, it's almost similar, but we go much deeper. Okay. And basically we have uncovered that she had a past life where she was held as a prisoner in a prison and she was forced to eat extremely bad food. I don't want to use, different language here to describe it. She was force-fed by the guards in a very negative way, which forced her to vomit the food, and she resented eating the food. It was a very traumatic experience for her, and she, in fact, even died in that life in that prison.
Oh my God.
So it made perfect sense. It was like, for her, she said, it's like a light bulb has just lit up in her mind, in her brain, in her subconscious, to understand that she has carried this forward into this lifetime, this trauma that she experienced in the previous life. So that was the recent one that I talked about.
Oh my God, this is very much crazy. Wow. How can you even go up to so many lives? Do you also have to be in hypnosis to do that?
Oh, that's interesting. Yes. So I also say about myself that I am an intuitive guide. as well, because when I do the hypnotherapy sessions, I don't just kind of sit there and wait for the client to tell me things. So when I put the client into the alpha level of mind through different relaxation and visualization techniques, I am there with them. Okay, so I put naturally myself in the alpha level of mind as well, which then enables me to much easier guide, in a much easier way to guide the client where the client needs to go, because my higher self is connected through the spiritual lines to the client's higher self. And in many cases, I work with the client's guides, with the spiritual guides. And now we're touching on the spiritual side of hypnotherapy as well. And through the client's guides and my guides, we work together and guide the client where the client needs to go. So I can't take all the credit myself. It's the guides that are involved as well.
I'd love to know, how do you just reach out to alpha state like that? Like, how do you make that happen? Is it a practice, or is it something that you learned as well earlier? Because this is interesting. Let's say if like a 20 or 21-year-old boy or a girl, if they are watching this and they want to be just like you, what do they need to do?
Both practice and learning. Of course, you can learn it, but we do enter the alpha level of mind very often during our daily lives. Even it's not something mystical as such. So we experience light hypnosis, for example, when somebody's talking to you, but you are deep in thought. You don't even register what they're saying. You're kind of in the light alpha state as well. Or if you're watching a movie or you're reading a book and you're so immersed in it that you just don't register the outside world. That's a light level of hypnosis. Yes. It happens to me often when I'm driving a car and I just arrive at the destination. I don't remember how I got there because I was deep in thought.
Okay, so this happens. I think this happens. So it just happened yesterday. Me and my friend, we are walking. He's busy on the phone, and then we sit to a random place. And then after he finishes, and then he's like, okay. And then we are sitting at the wrong place.
Exactly.
Isn't this alpha state?
Exactly. So this is light alpha.
Light alpha.
So it's light alpha when you are relaxed, but kind of the outside world stops to exist for you. Okay. So during meditations, people should quite easily be able to reach the light alpha or even the mid alpha state. Yeah. And with practice, they will learn to relax the body, because alpha state is a relaxation of the mind. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's quite difficult for us to relax the mind, with the chatter, with everything that's happening, overthinking. So to relax the mind, we first need to start with relaxing the body. Now, how do we start relaxing the body? With breathing. Okay, so we relax the autonomous nervous system with breathing. So we start taking some nice deep breaths, and that just brings our attention inwards, right? We follow the breath. And we really put our full attention on how the breath flows, and that immediately stops the overthinking on the conscious level, because you are now focusing inwards. You're starting the process gently and slowly. And then through progressive muscle relaxation, we relax the body as well.
What does this mean? Progressive
muscle relaxation? That's really just a fancy phrase for
saying,
for saying you just need to relax your body.
I love your language.
So we just visualize relaxing every single muscle, every single cell.
Makes sense.
Every single fiber in the body, region by region. So we start with the forehead and gently, consciously relaxing, feeling every muscle relaxing, every cell relaxing. So it's not just like, okay, now I am relaxed, but you need to make a little bit of effort to consciously relax that part of the body. And once that is done, then we do some very beautiful, simple visualizations as well, which then help to, as I say, park the conscious mind, leave it in the car park, so we can drive the subconscious mind forward. Wow. So it's a very nice and very gentle and very easy process. So if people would like to learn how to get to it, all they need to do is meditation practice, regular meditation practice, 10, 5, 15 minutes every day. They will be much more familiar with the sensation. And the best hypnotherapy clients are those that do have a regular meditation practice as well. Because it's not that different. It's really just a deeper meditation.
Deeper. This is such an interesting thing that you told, because let's say people who are watching this currently, they're very excited, very curious, but for them, they're not taking action. It can be even me, Mm-hmm. So the action needs to be made by starting the meditation, as you just told right now. you need to at least like have 5 minutes or 10 minutes to yourself every day in a day. It's like a very nice mindful practice.
Exactly.
Where you focus on your breath. And then over the time you can go more in depth, because right now to make changes in life, to make something better for yourself, it's everything going inwards, not outwards.
Yes, yes.
So I
yes,
think
exactly.
you touched down on a very nice point that we should be doing all of these practices. And once you are in that, when you enter the spiritual realm of hypnotherapy, past life regression, it can be super easy for you.
Exactly, yes. I mean, I'm not saying that if somebody that doesn't do meditation is not going to be able to enter the hypnotic state. They will be, but it will be, of course, easier if somebody already has a meditation
Exactly.
practice.
We want something that's not surface level, but something that's too deep in.
Yes, correct.
That's
correct.
so interesting. That's so interesting. Now, I have a very interesting question. If you were 10 years before from now, how would you look like? Like, what's running around in your head? What things are you doing?
10 years ago. Well, 10 years ago, I was still in my corporate world.
Okay.
So I have 20 years experience in the high-level corporate positions. But I was still always into spirituality, and it was always my calling to be doing what I'm doing now.
Wow.
But I did have my formal education in finance, so this is the area where I was. And I was 10 years ago very much waking up to the understanding that there is more to the mind than we really are taught at schools, or that we are shown in media and so on and so forth. So it would probably be about 10 or 15 years ago when I started my own meditation practice.
Wow.
And it was a journey that took me quite a few years to be able to reach the level of understanding and the level of guidance that I receive now directly from my higher mind. But it doesn't have to take years. It can really happen very quickly.
But this is very interesting. That's what I want to say, that anyone who's watching this, they feel I'm too late for this, I'm too old for this.
There is no such thing. This can happen very, very, very quickly. It can happen in one session, in fact.
Wow.
It can happen in 1 week with regular meditation practice.
Exactly.
It can happen. There are many even videos on YouTube that people can use to help them ease into it. There is music that they can use. There are different guided meditations that they can use. It's just to get used to connecting to yourself.
Yeah.
That's the key.
And the other one was, what would you see yourself as a 10-year-old you? What would you tell yourself maybe?
Oh, if I was 10 years old, oh wow. Well, I would tell myself that everything is going to work out. That I am amazing and I am beautiful, and that life has lots of gifts to give, and that Earth is a really magical place to be alive on.
Wow. I love it. I love it. This is super amazing. So coming back to another question that is related to past life regression.
Yes.
I read a book by Dr. Brian, and that was long, long ago. I was really interested, and it had like so many past lives, so many chapters. So I was very interested to know about my past life, but I never got the chance. But
Okay.
this was like something interesting where it clicked on. So let's say if someone has really like the problem that you said, that lady had a eating disorder. So that goes to the root cause of past life, right? How many past lives can we go up to?
That's a great question. Great question, Maddie. As many as it takes would be my answer. So I have had clients that had easily gone to 5, 6 past lives,
Okay.
either in one session, like very short clips of whatever is relevant for them to understand, or you can go individually, each session is one past life as well, but it's always the past life that's most relevant to the issue that you are dealing with. So I myself had a regression where I was looking, I had a big question, right? I didn't have any specific issue that I wanted to discover. I said, what's my purpose as a soul, right? A very big question. So then I had a regression where I was shown a series of past lives that was a progression how I actually evolved as a soul that has led me to understanding my purpose. So I think it was 5 as well in that specific one regression. It was a long regression for about 3 hours, but it was relevant for me because that was my intention. I really wanted to understand this. So my subconscious mind and my higher self showed me exactly what I needed to see. So it could be any number of lives. For example, for this lady with the eating disorder, there was just one life she needed to see, and that was it. But if I regress her next time, if she comes, we might enter a completely different past life.
Exactly.
Not that exact same one. Maybe people think I only have one past life. You don't. If you only have one past life, you probably will not be coming to me to do a hypnotherapy session because you will not be at that level of evolution of your soul to be asking this kind of spiritual questions. So I would say maybe even people that listen to your podcast, people that seek alternative therapies, that are on a spiritual quest to discover more of their meaning of life, I would say in general, based on what I've seen in my practice, they are mid to higher level souls in terms of their evolution.
So that means they have experienced many lives.
Exactly, yes.
And let's say now you're talking about yourself or this lady even. So is it like when you get into the state of hypnotherapy, you just dive into, let's say, the 5th past life or 6th or 10th? Or is it like a series and combined and getting into that answer? How is it like? Because
right, this is very interesting. It's a great question, actually. You are really trying to understand it. So normally I don't guide the client to any one specific past life. Okay, I never say we're going to the past life, number 1, number 2, number 3, or whatever that is, right? Because maybe they had 500 past lives and I really have no idea which one includes this learning or this lesson that they need to learn. So I always just leave it open and I ask the subconscious mind and the higher self to guide us to the life which is most appropriate and most relevant for the issue that we are working on. So we always set the intention. So with this specific lady, we had an intention to uncover the root cause of this specific eating disorder. And the subconscious mind led us to exactly that one specific life.
So exactly jumping onto that, not here and there, not any other past lives related to that.
No. We only go to the one which is relevant. If there are 2 or 3 lives relevant, then we explore 2 or 3 lives and it just naturally flows.
Okay.
It just naturally flows through the guidance of the higher self, through the guidance of the guides. If I feel that this has not provided full answers, we ask to be guided to another life which has more understanding and more wisdom that the client needs to understand.
And how do you differentiate that this particular problem is with one life only or 3 lives together or 4 lives?
That's quite an intuitive process, I would say. So if we do there is definitely one past life. So if we get to the one past life, intuitively I can sense that this is maybe not the full extent of the issue. So I receive guidance to guide the client to another life, for example. So I can use the example just 2 days ago. This lady, I said that she had relationship pattern problems in her life with the marriages that were very unsuccessful and very unhappy. We did go to a past life. I actually thought we're going to just do a standard regression, right? But she ended up spontaneously regressing to a past life.
Okay.
She found herself in one past life as a 16-year-old living in India, right? And then she discovered something related to one of the relationships. And then I was guiding her once that life was finished to the state where she just connects with her soul identity, right? To the in-between, which is the spiritual regression. We can also talk about that later. Instead, she straight jumped into another past life.
Okay.
Which was a past life in a completely different setting with a completely different relationship dynamic that she needed to explore. And then after that life, after we explored it, she went again up to the, spiritual part of her life between lives. And there was an advice from one of her guides that there is one more life she needs to uncover to make it complete. So then I'm like, okay, perfect. So then me and my guides, we guided the client to go to that one more past life. So she actually explored 3 for one issue.
One issue, 3 past life, and one solution, mastermind, Magdalena.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's very fascinating. So I never know where it's going to go, really.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we have lived hundreds of lives, all of us, most likely. And, from the metaphysical concept, we can always say it's not past lives, they are parallel lives. It's all happening now, right? So that's why it's easy for us to just tap into which life it is that we need to tap
Wow,
into.
this is interesting. Let's jump onto that because you say that all the life are right now existing.
Yes.
So me, I'm living other lives now.
Yes, you are.
It's just like shown in the movies, the Marvel movies. Same.
Yes. That's my experience. That's what I have been hearing from the clients as well. Because after the end of each session, if I'm allowed, I ask for a permission to ask questions from the higher self of the client, right? Which is fascinating. This is what I wait for at the end of each session. And then I sometimes ask questions of a general nature. And sometimes I get exactly these types of answers, and it's very fascinating. So through the client's higher self, I can understand, for example, the nature of time. And this is something that the client wouldn't even know how to answer in a conscious state. So in many cases, I find that the way it's explained is that we are all energy and all frequency, and everything exists now in this one moment of now. We are here now.
Yeah.
Again, we are here now. It's always just this rolling forward moment of now. So even in those past lives, when we are experiencing them, it feels like it is a now moment, but it is in the past if you look at it linearly.
Yes.
Okay? But all we are doing, we are just tapping into the frequency of who we were in that moment of now. That's how we are able to experience it as if it was me reliving that life now.
That moment, not this other moment.
Yes.
That's what.
Correct. So this moment that you are living now, lying on the couch, having a hypnotherapy session, being Maddie, what we do is we just tap into the frequency of Maddie in a past life.
Okay.
But it becomes the same moment of now. You are not reliving it as a memory. You are reliving it as if it was actually happening now.
Oh yeah, it's not going into past with some memories.
Yeah,
No.
you are literally tapping into the now moment of that specific life. And now we are digging a hole into metaphysics, Maddie.
This is interesting.
I don't know, it's going to be a bit of a confusing concept maybe for some people to
No,
understand.
it's the conversation that people would love to hear, but it's interesting that you touched down on that point of so many different lives but living now. That's great. So coming back to past life regression, I think, so you told me that it can be many lives and, we can have problems in one particular life or many series. So how long does one session approximately go around? Like what's your average? So someone understands, okay, this much time does it take to go in the past or like in the present basically?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say 2 hours minimum.
Okay.
Sometimes it goes up to 3 hours. Because if there is more to explore, I don't cut the session short.
Okay.
Because I say, oh, you only booked 2 hours, so now you're about to discover the purpose of your past life. We can't cut the session short.
Yeah.
So you should budget at least 3 hours.
Makes sense.
Of your time.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense. And do you also feel their emotions or their pain when you're guiding them through? Because it's a very important and very sensitive subject, in their life, but also you are involving your energy.
Yes, I'm very much involving my energy with them, and with being an empath as well, I do feel and I am there with them on many levels. However, I do disassociate myself from any specific scenes, but on a subconscious level, I understand the emotions, and therefore it's easier for me to guide them to disassociate themselves as well. If it's a traumatic experience or if it's something uncomfortable, I can sense that this is going to be a bit uncomfortable, and that just allows me to make the session a bit more easier for them to process in a way. Yes.
I remember from the past, from the movies that I used to see hypnotherapy, it's like this time watch.
Yes,
Is it true? Like, is it happening like that? If you want to hypnotize someone, you will stare at the watch
Yeah, the pendulum, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can if you want. If you look at the pendulum long enough, your mind will blank out, and you will be in a state of hypnosis.
So that's true as well.
That's what historically people have been using.
And now
sure
for you, what do you do to immediately take them to that level?
So there are different approaches.
Okay.
Some hypnotherapists like to do what's called rapid inductions. Okay, where they just click the fingers and off you go. I prefer to not do that.
Does that happen? Is it possible, first of all?
It is possible. You can train for that to be possible as well. I prefer to go through the progressive relaxation because that helps me to understand the depth of the client's trance state. Okay. So when I do the relaxation techniques and the visualizations, I can check visually and physically. I can see, because you can already recognize if you're experienced enough, what state of the mind the client is in. At the beginning of my practice, I wasn't really sure. So I used to use these kind of brain monitoring devices, like Muse monitors and so on and so forth, to help me understand the level of mind that the client is in.
Exactly.
At the beginning of my practice.
So is it the state that you look at?
Yes. You look at the brain waves. So it basically shows you a live graph.
Yeah,
where you can see
sense.
That the client is in alpha, client is still in beta, there is still thinking
theta,
going
very
on.
well, good.
Yeah, theta straight away, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but now I don't use it anymore. So with just experience, I can see that the client has already reached the level of mind. Especially for some clients that are not used to meditation or they have never done hypnotherapy, it's actually very beneficial for them to go through the process of relaxation, visualization, breathing exercises. And
so there are like basically two formats that we go into. One is that you do is particularly relax them,
yes.
so that, and you can also figure out which state they are in. That's super amazing. That's amazing. And then one is kaboom, bum, bum, bum.
Yes. That's more for stage hypnosis as
stage
well.
Hypnosis.
You have this some hypnotists that they do stage shows and things like that.
Exactly.
That is more for entertainment element, right? It's not therapeutic. That's just stage hypnosis. It's not hypnotherapy. Right.
Okay. Let's differentiate these terms. I would love to know, what is hypnosis and hypnotherapy, like stage, I mean.
Because so hypnotists that do, let's say, shows on stage, they also use hypnotic state, which means the client's attention is inwards and they kind of lose track of what's going on around them, and that's how they are able to implant suggestions into their mind. They can make you think that you have an onion and it's an apple and you bite into it, for example, right? Because they give you a suggestion that this is an apple. I mean, you can watch lots of these shows on YouTube. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching them myself, to be honest. However, if we are really going deep into healing, into understanding the patterns, into understanding the reasons for certain beliefs and certain issues that we have on mental or emotional or physical level, this is when we need to call it not just hypnosis for fun, we call it hypnotherapy.
So true.
That's the therapeutic aspect of it, where we are doing it for a certain purpose, for a certain intention, to heal the client and help them in the best way.
Not
that
the
we can.
intention of giving them onions and making them eat apples.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
that's super amazing.
Yeah.
Because this differentiation is very important, and you particularly are into hypnotherapy.
Yes, exactly.
That's great. You're done with that stage of.
No, stage is for fun, but yeah, I prefer to just take hypnosis seriously, because I think this is also where some of the misconceptions come from. People think that, I will be just shown some pendulum and I will be asked to reveal my darkest secrets to somebody that I don't even know, so they might be afraid of the process. I almost wish we didn't even call it hypnotherapy. I almost wish we called it maybe subconscious therapy or something like that, because that would be much more easier for clients to disassociate from this kind of different version of hypnosis that we see with some other people. Yeah.
That's amazing. And your journey is super interesting as well, that you told that you were into this corporate world.
Yes.
And so now you are guiding leaders into being better and best version of themselves. I really love it. It's super interesting.
Thank you very much.
What inspires you?
What inspires me? So I would say what inspires me is also what frustrates me sometimes.
Okay. That's the obsession, I believe.
Yes, exactly. But frustration to become an inspiration is a small line to cross. So I have seen many people going to traditional talk therapy in my close circle, in friends and people that I know, and they attend traditional talk therapy for years. Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's absolutely wonderful. However, I believe that just talking about your problem is not enough to solve it. Okay, so you might maybe have some kind of issues and you spend 5 or 10 or even 15 years going to traditional talk therapy, and you will never be able to uncover the root cause of this problem or this behavior that you have.
What's this traditional root therapy?
Traditional talk therapy is, for example, traditional psychotherapy, therapists which are just basically you come on weekly visits and you just talk about your problems.
Okay.
Traditional therapy.
That's
right?
so interesting, because right now in the movies, like 5-10 years, it's been showing I have a problem and the guy is just talking to one person continuously for long. So that's what you're talking about.
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
That's
and this
great.
is where my frustration came from, right? So many people just keep going and keep talking endlessly about their problems. And they go week to week, and every week pretty much looks the same. So they come home after the session. I'm like, okay, are you healed now after this session number 100? And of course, healing does happen in these cases, but it doesn't happen very quickly, or it doesn't happen very often as well. And it was a bit frustrating for me to see. So that was one of the reasons why I started digging deep into how can this change happen quicker? How can this change happen more effectively? Because if you talk about a problem on a conscious level, and there is something deep in the subconscious that you don't have access to, you can just keep talking about it for 10 years or 15 years or even 20 years, and it's not going to be able to change the behavior which started in the subconscious mind. So I'll give you an example. For example, if there was a 5-year-old child that felt not accepted by the parents or by the mother, right? He felt abandoned by the parents, or mom, or something happened when he was 5 years old. A specific event happened, right, in his life. Now he's an adult and he has problems with commitment in his relationship. He has fear of abandonment. He has fear of judgment. And he keeps going to traditional therapy, talking about all these 3 issues and how they manifest in his life. So he can keep talking about, I have a wife and this is the problem and I'm not able to commit, and so on and so forth. So you just keep talking about the symptoms. The problem actually happened when he was 5 years old, and he had a trauma response to something that happened when he was 5. But he doesn't actually have access to that memory because it's deep in the subconscious level. And in hypnotherapy, what I have discovered is that in 1 or 2 or even 3 sessions, we can go back and we can direct the subconscious mind to take us to that exact time where this issue started. The initial event, the origin of this distortion, which is now manifesting in your life as, fear of commitment or a fear of judgment or anything like that. And we are able to go, we're able to reprogram, we're able to reframe, we're able to clear, we're able to forgive, we do inner child healing or any kind of healing techniques that we apply. And that will then enable the client to make the change on a conscious level.
Wow.
Right? Wow. So this is what is my inspiration that started from the frustration.
And your frustration.
Yes.
That's super interesting, because I think that is what most of the entrepreneurs, leaders in this world do. You have a problem and you want to find the solution.
Exactly.
And you want to find a solution that's very scalable. And that's what you just did. This is super interesting.
Yes.
So that's why you have the skills of entrepreneur leadership, and you have been around them, and that's why you started this whole thing with, oh my God, this is super interesting.
Mental illness and hypnotherapy as well in general. So the myth would be, for example, that healing takes time. It doesn't have to take time, as I just said. So it could be a myth. The healing can happen and transformation can happen in a couple of sessions. I have a client that has been going to traditional talk therapy for 8 years, and we had 4 sessions together. And he felt in control of his life, and he said, you know what, I don't need to see the therapist anymore. I don't need to even see you. We even stopped our sessions, and he's fully in control of his life. So it doesn't have to take years. Also, another misconception would be that, for example, some people say that time heals all wounds. Okay? I don't agree with that exactly.
It doesn't.
Time might maybe hide the wounds, but they still remain, because if there is an emotional trauma that happened, no amount of time is going to heal it. Only intentional inner work can heal that. And then also that just talking about the problem can solve it. Okay, that's also just a misconception.
Oh wow, we broadly have all the misconceptions lined up. That's nice.
Yes.
That's so amazing for a reel, actually. Misconceptions of hypnotherapy. That's great.
Nice.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay, and you were talking about the spiritual world. I would love to know just the definition of it, and then we can jump into more about it.
Yes. So spiritual hypnotherapy.
Okay. Yeah.
It's one of my big passions. That's something I have felt to dig deep into lately as well. It's probably because it's something that's needed in the world. And spiritual hypnotherapy basically connects you with your immortal soul identity. So this is when we start asking the much deeper existential questions. Why am I here? Who am I? What is the purpose of my life? So these kinds of questions are answered from the spiritual essence of ourselves.
But not the essence, the other regression.
It is a spiritual regression as well, yes. So it is very similar to past life regression, but this is where we don't go into hypnosis to specifically review a past life. We go there to specifically connect with your soul essence. Okay, so this is your soul identity that you are in between your lives.
Wow, in
Right.
between my lives.
Because you know the concept of reincarnation, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been widely known and recognized, especially in the Eastern philosophies, and it's becoming much more accepted in the Western world as well. And there is a time between lives, between incarnations, where the soul is in the soul state.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of wisdom is available in that time. You connect with your soul families, you connect with your guides, you connect with your higher self, you go to the part of life selection for the current life, and you can understand, for example, what lessons you came here to learn. Why did you choose to be Maddie that you are? Yeah. What is it that you came here to learn in this specific lifetime? Because the wisdom of your soul is guided by the wisdom of the past lives.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So you told that you had also asked yourself the question of what is your
Yes.
purpose in your life. So this was through spiritual regression?
It was, exactly. So it was a past life regression where I was shown a series of lives.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I connected with my soul essence and received information from that level of the superconscious mind to understand, to connect them all together, including the current life. And it made perfect sense.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
So all these bigger questions in life that you want to answer is much more better and straightforward when you do through spiritual regression.
Exactly, yes. I mean, answers to these questions are available through different modalities, I would say.
Okay.
You know, there are different psychic mentors, there are different people that do different types of modalities where they can give you advice on your life purpose and life mission as well.
Exactly.
And that can be very effective as well.
Yeah.
And spiritual hypnotherapy is one of the ways where you don't get the answer from someone else, you get the answer from yourself.
You get the answer from yourself, and then later you tell me, like as in the like the one who's doing the hypnotherapy, he or she tells me, right?
No, Maddie. This is the difference, right?
Wow.
So if you have a session, for example, with somebody that has access to the spiritual realm and you ask the question, they are able to channel the answers for you.
Exactly.
Right? However, in spiritual hypnotherapy, me as a hypnotherapist, I don't give you the answers. I don't know the answers, in fact, but you are the one that knows them. And your own spiritual essence, your own soul knows the answers. So all I do is I guide you to get your own answers from your own higher self.
Yeah. So I dive within when you guide me through, and then it just comes out of my mouth.
Exactly. Correct. Correct.
And then when it comes out of my mind, do you remind me later about it, or it's already embedded? Because this is very fascinating.
It is, yes. It is. You are well aware.
Okay.
You don't lose your memory when you are in a hypnotherapy session, right? So your awareness is still there. You still remember, but we also record the session so you can listen to it in case you don't remember. afterwards.
Okay. So it's deeply embedded. Like, let's say I go through the journey and everything, so I know it that this happened and this is the purpose of my life. So a lot of mental clarity is there.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yes. It's very transformative, and it gives people a lot of renewed sense of purpose in their life, because sometimes we don't know exactly where we're going in life. Especially later on in life, some people discover that I don't know even what I'm doing here. I don't know which direction to go. I'm not sure what the purpose is. I want to do something greater. I want to contribute to the world. They feel called to a certain mission, but they don't know how to do it. They don't know what it is. And it's very powerful to get answers from your own higher self, to get the sense of direction and the sense of purpose of where you actually want to go in life.
Wow. So this journey that you're talking about, this spiritual regression journey, it is number of past lives, but it in between as well.
It's mainly the in-between, yes.
Okay, mainly the in-between.
Mainly the in-between.
So as if I remember, I don't know, in India, my parents used to say, okay, when you die, your soul goes somewhere up and then the other souls are there. And then God selects which of the soul you have to be put into which body and all of that sort, which right now I'm not, not relating to.
Okay. It's also, well, this is quite interesting, because regardless of religions that you brought in, beliefs, or whether it's a male, female, age or background, these journeys are very, very similar.
Okay.
When we connect with our soul identity. And what comes forward is what is relevant and what is most important for the client to understand and to see.
Okay.
Some people do see it from the religious perspective.
Yeah.
If that's the way you would like to get your answers, then that's absolutely open and available to you. Many people, for example, when they transition between a life to the in-between state, they have somebody to welcome them, right? Sometimes it is religious figures, sometimes it's their deceased loved ones. It's like whatever your mind creates is what you need to see to be able to accept the answers and to receive the answers on the best way
But what's
possible.
the reality then? Because me as an individual would think different, you as well different, but there should be one reality that
Yes.
everyone is coming out of from.
Yes. Now we are digging even deep into the hole, Maddie. So now it also depends on the type of the soul that you are.
Okay.
There are 3 different types of souls,
Okay.
but let's just keep it simple. For an earth-based soul,
Okay.
the journey would be based on my experience. Again, I'm not saying this is how it is, okay? Don't attack me for, this is not in line with my religion. This is just purely what I have seen and what I have experienced with my clients, okay? So I'm not talking from any kind of generic
That's your
perspective,
opinion.
right? Exactly. So this is not my opinion. This is what I have experienced with the clients, okay? So the clients' journeys are very similar. So after they end the past life, they usually choose to either remain for a while in the spiritual state around, to comfort the loved ones, or to have some unfinished business, to do some forgiveness, some integration of what happened in the life. And at some point when the right time comes, they are guided into what we call the higher realms of existence. And through this process, there are different versions of it, but they are mainly exactly the same. There is a gateway. Okay, they pass through the gateway. Who greets them at the gateway? It's quite individual, but through a gateway you go. Whichever way you go through a gateway, it can be very personal, you know. So once you enter through the gateway, there is usually a presence that they feel. It's a very beautiful and loving and gentle presence that they feel, which is usually a presence of their guide. Again, the guide can come in different forms. Okay, so this is your spiritual guide. It will come in a form which is most comfortable for you. Okay, so it may appear to you as one of the religious figures. It may appear to you just as a light. It may appear to you just as some loving presence. It's very really depending on what is most appropriate for the soul that has just departed. And through this process of being welcomed by the guide, there is a lot of wisdom, there is a lot of understanding, there are conversations you can have with your guides and so on and so forth. And then you are led with your guide usually to meet your soul family, which is a beautiful, very nice part of the regression, where you meet your soul group. it's better to call it soul group rather than soul family, because it's not your current family members all the time that are part of your soul group as well. And then there are different activities that happen and different places that the souls want to go to. It's all relevant to each individual, whether they want to gain some more wisdom, they go to different libraries or to schools, or they meet with different councils and so on and so forth. So this journey happens. The way it happens can be, it's almost like the spiritual realm is tailor-making each session, each time that this happens to that specific experience, to make it the most loving and the most gentle and the most amazing experience that can have.
Wow. And also they say that if we have met now, we have met in the previous past.
Oh yeah,
life.
we have met.
It's
yeah,
true?
For sure. Very likely.
Wow.
Yes, very,
That's
very
amazing.
likely.
And this conversation was written like...
Oh, absolutely. We already planned to have this conversation. And in fact, not only that, all your listeners and all your viewers already planned to listen to this conversation before they even came here, because there is something here that I have to say, or maybe that you have to say, that they need to hear to help them on their journey of awakening, to help them on their journey of self-discovery.
Their friends, their families,
Exactly.
watch with everyone because you're meant to be watching this.
Yes. So,
wow, that's amazing. Okay, I think that's pretty much enough about it. I think we dived into each and every topic as well, and that's good to give an overview of the knowledge, the wisdom you have. It's super inspiring to me for sure, and the ones
Thank
who are
you.
watching as well. I can't thank you enough for just being here, and it takes a lot to share all of this.
Yes.
I'm super happy you did that. And some last few tips for some people who really want to enter this world of hypnotherapy, who really have problems, who can't talk to their mom or their dad or their friends about it. What's the best way to take about this,
So the best way is just to be honest with yourself. Okay, so be honest, and it takes a lot of self-discovery, and to go on the journey through hypnotherapy, to go and journey into your subconscious mind, it takes sometimes courage, right? Because sometimes we might be afraid what we will discover, right? But there is no reason to be afraid, because all we will discover is just more of ourselves.
Wow, that's such a nice line that you told. We'll discover ourselves. That's so
Yes.
true. Thank you so much for encouraging everyone to be so courageous.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because sometimes the most courageous thing people can do is explore the depths of their own mind.
And their own self.
Yes.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And for anyone who's looking forward to hypnotherapy or any sessions in Dubai, she's the master. I'm gonna put her handles here, as you can see, and just contact her right away. She's the best of best. You have heard her, you have seen her, and now I'm gonna try something with her as well. She's gonna hypnotize me. Or hypnotherapy, to be precise. We're gonna try something very quick, and we're gonna show you as well of how it looks like. That would be super interesting.
Thank you very much, Maddie, for having me. And thank you so much for having a podcast like this and for bringing so much awareness to people, especially young people that listen to your podcast. It's very important, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Yes. This is like a quick 10-minute regression that we want to do on me, and then of course all of the ones who are watching as well. It can be done collectively.
Yes.
That's a very nice initiative, very practical, that can be done. So guys, if you are right here, be very excited, and as she guides me, she will guide you as well with the same thing, and just we follow her. That would be amazing.
Yes. So what we're going to do is a very small version of what we would do in a regression. There are many healing interventions we do. This one is one of them. It's called inner child healing. Okay, when we connect with our inner child and we do a bit of healing to heal a certain thing that happened in the past. Because we have our lovely audience with us here, we're going to make it quite generic. So normally I would ask you questions, but this time we're just going to make it very general. So if everybody would just like to get comfortable, lie down or sit in a comfortable chair, ideally with your head supported. And all you need to do really is just follow my instructions. Make sure you're not driving, of course, or not doing anything that needs a lot of your attention. All right, Maddie. So what we're going to do, we're just going to start with 3 deep breaths. But the way we do the breaths, we're going to do a deep breath into the belly. Hold the breath for a few seconds and a long exhale. Beautiful. And one more time, long inhale into the belly. Hold and exhale. Beautiful. And one more time, holding and exhaling. Beautiful. Very good. And now I just would like you to bring your breathing to the natural rhythm. And just allow this time for yourself. There is nowhere for you to be. There is nothing for you to do. Just be right here and right now. And I would like you now, just imagine there is a beautiful golden light just above your head. And there is this beautiful relaxing energy flowing from this spot and covering your body all the way from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Cover yourself in this beautiful, relaxing golden light. And as that happens, you can just let go of any tension in your forehead. Focus on your forehead. Let go of all the muscles, all the nerves, all the cells in your forehead. And spread this wonderful feeling through your eyes. Make them very heavy and comfortable. Focus on those little muscles around your eyes that hold your eyelids and just relax them. Just let go and relax them to the point where they just don't work. And even if you try to open them, you couldn't because they're just so very, very relaxed. And now just spread this relaxation through your cheeks, your nose, your lips, teeth and your tongue, your chin, your scalp. Just allow this beautiful, relaxed feeling to spread through your neck, your shoulders, letting them sink deeper all the way through your arms, making your arms feel very warm and heavy and very, very relaxed. And the deeper you relax, the easier it is for you to visualize and access any information that is important for you to access today. And now spreading this beautiful feeling through your back, all the way from your upper back to the base of your spine, relaxing all muscles, all nerves,
all cells in your back, coming all the way now through your chest, your stomach muscles, and your hips, all the way down your legs. Just allowing this feeling of relaxation to spread all the way down to your feet and your toes, making your legs feel very heavy, warm and comfortable. That's it, beautiful. And just make sure that all of the body is fully relaxed. Beautiful. Now I just would like you to connect with the field of your heart. Just be aware of your heart, because we sometimes forget how wonderful it is to connect with our heart. And staying connected with the heart, I want you to now imagine you standing on top of a beautiful staircase with 10 steps going down. And when I start counting from 10 to 1, you will see your feet and hear your feet connecting with each step. And each step will take you 10 times deeper into relaxation. Approaching now step 10, deeper and deeper. Step 9. And when we reach step 1, you will find yourself in a memory or a scene from your past, from your childhood, which was the time when you felt you were unloved for the first time. So we gently descend through step 8, drifting deeper and deeper. Step 7, allowing your mind to rest. Step 5, step 4, step 3, gently and calmly drifting deeper and deeper. Step 2, almost there. And soon when we step off the last step, you will find yourself in a memory which is important for you to explore today. It will be a time when you felt unloved for the first time. And now stepping off, step 1, drift deeper, sink deeper. And now you can see it as a door or a portal, or maybe you already are in the memory. I want you to look around. Just notice any sensations, any feelings that you might have as you have found yourself in this memory. Beautiful. I want you to explore your surroundings. Orient yourself and see and feel what is happening. And as you see yourself, this small version of you, I want you now to bring your adult version that you are now into this scene. Just imagine yourself stepping into this scene as an observer. And as you do that, just look at everyone that's involved and understand the perspective of the other person. Why they did what they did, or why what happened happened. Because we might not accept or agree, but we try to understand the perspective of others. We understand why what happened happened. And as we do this, I would like you now to look into the eyes of the person or the people that are there that have caused for you to feel this way. And I want you to tell them what it is you need to tell them that you couldn't tell them at that time. Go ahead and tell them everything that you need to say. And also hear what they have to say back to you. And as you do this, understanding their perspective, find it in your heart to be able to forgive. Because in life we can choose to go through pain, or we can choose the way of love. And to forgive is to choose the way of love. And as you forgive through your heart, to whoever has wronged you, there is one more person to forgive, and that is yourself. So look this beautiful child in the eyes and just say to him all the beautiful things that it needs to hear. Tell him or her how special she really is, that you came all the way from the future just to help her understand how loved he or she really is. And then just take this beautiful child and place it in your heart. And as you integrate this beautiful version of yourself, you know that it can always feel safe and loved in your heart. Beautiful. And staying connected with the field of your heart, with this little version of yourself, we will now gently prepare to return back to this time and this place. As I count from 1 to 5, and you will come back feeling rested and refreshed, with a new understanding of your self-worth, with a new understanding of how loved you truly are. 1, 2, gently coming back to this time and this place. Just bringing with you anything that's beneficial. 3, 4. With a deep breath in your own time. The count of 5. When you're ready, opening your eyes. Welcome back.
Thank you. Wow. Wow.
That was a very small snippet of what we would do during a hypnotherapy session. So we would do a bit longer kind of relaxation at the beginning, and even because it was already over 15 minutes, I was trying to make it a bit shorter. There would be a lot of profound healing done when we would specifically uncover exactly what was going on during the memory or the scene that would come up.
Thank you so much, and it's a blessing for her.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so
Maddie.
much.
Thank you.